Welcome to the UK Gaming Tours Season 1, Day 2. It's going to be an absolute epic night. So we've got some great matches for you guys, but let's bring it down. Let's bring it back down to that casual level, the level that we want to enjoy at Hugo, because that's right, I'm joined by my wonderful friend and casting partner tonight. It is going to be Hugo. How are you doing today, mate?
Hi, I'm pretty good myself. I'm excited for the matches that we have coming up today. Obviously, a double best of two, and kicking it off is going to be CAZ versus Barrage. So a very interesting match. We've been having a bit of a conversation just before the pre-game, about this match. And Flakes, I think you're very confident in your prediction for this match.
I think I'm confident throughout the entire night, and it's a bit of a different night really overall, because you never really go into an evening of Counter-Strike and say, yep, it's going to be a clean kind of 4-0 to these teams. It's just going to be, nice and smooth best of twos. And kind of to add context to that, should I say, I'm looking at CAZ eSports and going, okay, you've got the players, you've got the kind of the experience almost now. I think for Barrage, yes, we can expect them to see put up a little bit more of a fight. Yes, maybe we can see, perhaps even a 16-6, but I really am expecting it to be a bit of a whitewash almost. They have got players like Velox who have been renowned in the past for landing these shots with the AWPs and such, and he was very, very talented. I remember seeing him break out during one of the first things I casted in terms of competitive Counter-Strike, which is UK Masters Season 1, I believe it was. But then after the back of a couple of bad decisions, he kind of found himself in a bit of a rough one, so...
I love that optimism. I'm sorry, I got a buddy. I love that optimism. I think they could do well. I think they could maybe get a 16-6. And it's like,
just being honest, man.
You're saying if they do well, they'll get 6 rounds.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't hold much faith. Like I'm playing for them to prove me wrong here. That's what I want tonight. I want to be proved wrong. I want to stand here and look like an idiot, because if I look like an idiot, it means these guys from BarrageeSports have done something right. They've climbed that mountain. They've kind of broken their sins, however you want to put it. Yeah, it'll be pretty damn epic for them. So it just comes down to whether they are going to be able to kind of play up to that level, which is, I think going to be a very contentious question for the night, and one that's going to be heavily predicted backwards and forwards.
Yeah, and I mean, again, with the obvious potential roster shuffles that come after pretty much every single map.
You had to go there, didn't you?
Yeah, no, it's true. We've got the main analysis, I guess, of some of these matches are going to be just looking at some of the star players that we have, and CAZ definitely has a better lineup of star players. Some big names, at least in the UK scene. We've got Boast, we got Windansky, obviously, and the whole lot, Jacob and everyone really is. They're all fairly big names in the UK scene, whereas Barrage, as you said, Velox, yeah, kinda, and then, it kind of dips down after that. So that is one of the issues we're facing. Barrage have a serious lack of firepower, at least that we know of. But maybe they can surprise us, Flakes. Maybe they'll show us something special. We don't know, but we're going to be jumping into the pistol round anyway. Barrage starting on that T side, and CAZ going for the CT side.
Let's get ourselves into the action. As they say, it is going to be that CT side start for CAZ eSports. They're going to get themselves what seems to be their standard position of, okay, we're going to put 3 over towards B, perhaps get some short aggression to roll in and make sure we pin down apartments. As Barrage, they're quick on their heels. They're beginning to get this lightning quick charge out through apartments now as well, trying to really meet up with the CAZ side. It is going to be Shank to face on first. Windansky with his pistol, the tapping away, finds himself the Cheshire on towards Shank. Jacob with a second on towards Wong. Windansky another on towards Neto, and is all but falling into place at this point. A chess game perfectly in the making as Connor will swing in from behind, catches the life of Pedo. He's BarrageeSports in a bit of a rough one. Velox, the last man standing, and the last man to hit the deck.
Great stuff from CAZ there, keeping 3 players alive as well. Good confident start for them, and obviously with Barrage not getting the bomb down, we're likely to see the second round force coming in here. They are going to take a bit of time, so clearly trying to plan something up here, and it's looking like a bit of a deagle based buy, so I like this. Going for that long range engagements at least, and if they can take some mid control with that, go for something, kind of slow and progressive, that could definitely work out for them. And Wong, he's going to do exactly that. Heads into mid, spots out Con, a bit of a tag, but he has got that armor on him at least, so it's not going to be too dangerous. And Barrage just holding a bit of a default for the meantime, with Shanked outside of A, some control over towards B apps, and the majority of them just pushed in towards mid.
It's certainly a smart positioning from Barrage, especially when you add in that they are just on these decals. They want to be holding angles. They don't want to be pushing into angles. It's a very kind of almost proactive play instead of being reactive in the same regard, which for a T side is certainly a bit of a flip of the coin almost, but eventually that has to change, right, Hugo? We can't just see them kind of spin down this clock. They are going to have to push out some angles, clear out some sites, and play for that bomb plant, really. That's kind of best case for them. Get this bomb down, and from there, a round is on the cards, but who knows? Let's look at ramp right now. Let's get the picture on what is going on over there, because it is going to be Barrage stacking up a lot of their firepower, triple man stack to roll in there. They've got the bomb on the back, of course, of Neto. Windansky, though, is going to be a pretty huge concern. Not only can he spot out this push, but he can look for these shots. Picks off Shanked as well from Palace. That means that the hopes of Barrage in terms of this push are starting to fall apart. But Velox, a quick shot on towards Windansky. Can at least make this one seem a little more doable. Looking for a second on towards Connor. Velox Reason is going to find one with the P90. Or the UMP, should we say, but it is looking to go a bit back and forth. We find ourselves pitched in a 2 versus 2.
Lucky for CAZ, they actually have to send 4 towards the back of the CT spawn, so that's going to be perfect for playing the long-range engagements like that. Jacob going to be able to execute Peto, and it's all suddenly on Velox after his magical openings. It's going to start to fall away, trickle away from the side of Barrage, and he's going to have to go pretty big. Tags down Boaster again, but it's just not going to be enough damage here. Jacob just holding the bomb, and it's so easily in his favour. 10 seconds left. There's just no time for him to do anything, and Jacob just going to clean up that round. That was pretty much solely on the fact that when Dansky brought that M4 towards spawn, it was the only M4 or FAMAS on the team, and it got thrown around between a couple of players and managed to mop up pretty much all of Barrage there. So while it was looking like a bit of a successful force here for the T side, it is eventually going to come back to haunt them. They are going onto the eco. Apart from Velox, he's actually gone for an MP7 with no armor. Misbuy or some crazy strategy?
Yeah, I think crazy strategy is more leaning towards on this one. At least we have kind of one positive to look towards. Hey, CAZ eSports, they've shown us what they got up to over Christmas. It was a clear-cut game of pass the parcel, and they got themselves some pretty damn sweet rewards. That 2-0 start, as they now try and break into the new year with a bit of a positive vibe. See if they can make some money with that SMG, though it is going to be a bit of a different affair. The amount of damage it can potentially take, as Connor is going to find one on towards Neto. Reason a triple kill for him. Pops it up to a 4K, and he is a happy man as he struts his stuff. Eventually going to walk away from that one. CAZ eSports 3-0. Barrage back on the buy, though.
Yeah, I can't really justify that buy at all, though. If you dropped this to someone with armor, it would make sense. But going for an armless MP7 on the A site, I don't know.
I mean, at least buy armor once you've realised you've made that mistake and bought it, right?
Yeah, no, he only had
then
$300 left. That's why I feel like it was a bit of a misbuy. He spent all his cash on it, so I don't really know. Maybe you'll have to ask one of the players on Twitter or something, because I'm very confused by what he was trying to achieve with that. But either way, they're into their buy and they're going for that fast mid push. Wong, he's going to open things up into a window, but there will be a quick trade. Jacob fast on the trickle with the AWP and putting it back into a 4-on-4 instantly. But there's still a rifle drop down middle that Peto could potentially pick up. Issue is he is on the other side of the map. He might need to back off a little bit just to go grab that. CAZ eSports just sitting pretty for the time being. There's no real reason to get aggressive here on the CT side. They've got the equalization. Yeah, it's going to favour the T side in terms of numbers, but there's no real reason to push up any further to find themselves some early kills. And Boaster's already pushed them into a bit of a position here over in App. A couple of players just about to walk into his grasp. This could be good for him. The SMG going to be great at this kind of range, and Peto doesn't even check the corner, but Jacob, he's going to support Boaster. He sprays away, but only the dink onto one. It's now going to be equalised, but that Molotov going to hold them back, and so they can't even push into the B site just yet, and Wong being so low, he can't even justify a rush through that through the flames.
Yeah, this actually plays perfectly into the hands of the CT side, right? Because usually you would be looking at a 3 versus 3 and saying, okay, you know, maybe this is that kind of pinpoint perfection side for a T side to get that pick and then from there launch forward into a round. But no, look at their HPs. Wong just 4 HP. Actually, just that getting that dink, there's so much value now for the CTs to play with. All Reason has to do is kind of just lurch around mid, lurch around A, get himself just almost as this hard anchor sort of role, just drop it on towards CT perhaps. And for Barrage, they kind of are clawing themselves out of a pretty deep dark hole. Connector seemed to be a bit of a big push for them, see if they can just force their way out on towards this A site, and a bit of a last minute spurt of energy is when Dansky is going to try and come in from jungle. Wong there to meet him, but Shanked and Wong will combine. Headshots for them, but Reason is able to pick off Neto, leaving, as mentioned, 4 HP and 97 on Shanked. I wouldn't say this is impossible.
No, and Jacob, he only needs to land 2 1v1s, and that's very possible with that Molotov. Great shot onto Shanked. He doesn't know where the second player is, and look at this. Wong's already wrapping back around towards the ramp. Issue is, bomb's not going to be planted for him, and Jacob's actually going to go for the full stick. He fakes the scoping as well, so Wong doesn't even know he's fully committing to it. That will be the round for CAZ. Great stuff from Jacob. Nice use of that Molotov to force Shanked off the site. And Wong, I like the idea of a rotation, but it was just too little too late, and the bomb wasn't even planted for him, which makes things so much more difficult as well. So, Barrage, they got the money from the bomb, but it's still going to be the half by here. Only some Tech 9s and a bit of armor, and I'd like to see something explosive and fast. If they could just hit A really quickly, set up smokes on the fly, this could be perfect, especially with the setup from CAZ. Look, only one player on the A site, and Reason only just getting into jungle here, but he's focusing on connector.
Can we just talk about as well, just kind of going back to the previous round and now bring it into this one as well. It's just Jacob, this fear factor that he's bringing with this AWP. Just look at him bounce around the place. He's on towards short. Next minute we're going to see him on A. Next we're going to see him just rotating, bearing down through connector. There's so many angles that he's at that Barrage really don't have any idea where this AWP is going to be. And of course, you know, bring it back to the action on the site. Well, what is there to say? It's pretty much a bloodbath. The headstones have been built. The graveyards are being dug on out as Barrage next in line.
Yep, CAZ 5-0. Your prediction is definitely correct so far, but they are going to have a lot of money into this one, and that's where things may be able to switch up, at least in their favour. Enough to go for that AWP as well, and Wong, he's going to dom that, so maybe we'll see something interesting from Barrage coming into this buy round. I don't think they've pulled out the AWP just yet, or no, they haven't. Yeah, no, they haven't. Okay, I wasn't sure on that one, but setting up a default again. A couple of players over in B-Apps. You've got this top mid control as well, and Barrage just holding back for the time being. But CAZ aren't likely to be pushing into their grasp for the time being. Obviously, you're very likely to see some aggression from the CT side on Mirage. It's one of those maps which really facilitates it, but without some kind of great lead, it's not going to be too deep. Apart from Boaster over in Palace, quick kill, or Apartments, quick kill onto Wong. The AWP's out of the question now, and Barrage already diminished to 4 men without a refrag.
It's the confidence on CAZ right now. I kind of just talked about it on JKM, but it really is a bit of an illness that has kind of caught onto the entirety of their team as Boaster decides, you know what, I am going to repeat this. I feel like I can land it, and he gets away with it unscathed. Potentially even an opportunity to go for a second, but decides, you know what, I've got one. There's value in this already. I don't need to risk it for a second. I can just fall back now, and it really does put BarrageeSports in this almost box, Hugo, right? Because now they're kind of sitting there and going, okay, we're at a man disadvantage. Let's group up. Let's go for an execute on towards the safe side. Let's look at our utility. They have got enough smokes, they've got enough flashes, they have everything they need. But they're pushing into what should be a 3-man stack from the CT side. One that arguably is going to be just so damn tough for them now to penetrate.
Definitely so. Time is ticking, and they're really going to make this final push here. Windansky going to be very close, and they've really got to watch out for this position. There's so many Molotovs. They have no excuse for not clearing this one out, and it's going to go down. That'll force him out. They're going to hear the noise of him getting burnt a little bit, but he still gets to a safer position before the kill comes out. Shank just gets instantly decapitated, and the rest of the team going to fall as well. Neto only finds 2, but alas, it will be nothing found otherwise, and CAZ, again, another fairly clean round for themselves to force Barrage without a bomb plant back down to a bit of an awkward economical situation, but this will still justify a buy if they choose to.
If you notice one specific thing about that round, Hugo, and then you kind of link it into the others that we've seen as well, in the kind of the 6 that we've witnessed, there's one key trend, and I'm kind of curious on your thoughts behind this, because CAZ eSports, they always seem to be getting the engagements that they want on ramp. Barrage never seem to be able to get the jump on them. They never seem to be able to push out and get that first pick that allows them to push on towards A. All we seem to be seeing is the same old storyline of, okay, you know, Reason with his M4 gets to peek wide on towards ramp while they're completely flashed. There's a lot of team play there, or Connor gets to dive around and just kind of have his own little almost chicken shoot on towards this T side. And yeah, I'm curious to see kind of on your thoughts on why Barrage are letting that happen.
Well, at the end of the day, you know,
a fix?
Ramp is so hard to take anyway. You just dry. You need that full smoke setup. You need jungle and stairs covered. And okay, Boaster, cool. And even if
do that in the background.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Only eco frags can. But even if you have that, there's always potential to peek out over on bench from jungle as well. So it's already a really hard place to combat. But the whole point about taking ramp is you need the support from Palace. If you throw down that full smoke setup, and then you have Palace just spotting the jungle smoke, you can push out a ramp fairly safely, only having to worry about sight. And that seems like Barrage is just kind of lacking in terms of the team play. Wong should be up on Palace with that AWP, trying to hold down the jungle push, while the rest of them, you know, attempt to go for a full A smoke, take onto the site. And it just seems like they haven't really been combining the team play and the cooperation from Palace. It just seems like a lot of solo plays going on at the moment.
One thing is certain, it's so much early damage towards mid. Connor, a double spray through the smoke. Heartbreaking for this T-side as Neto going to try and force their hand twisting into the side of CAZ eSports, saying, look, I need a trade. Give me something right now. Give me something I can work with. But instead, the only thing he is going to be hitting is yet again that same old chopping block as the axe is going to fall upon his head. Peto and Velox will find themselves a trade, but it's just going to be Peto now left in a 1 versus 3.
It's all got to be over at this point, surely. Look at the aggression towards top mid. They're chasing him down. They don't even care. He just catches out the first 2 heads. What's that? Windansky and Reason fall, and now it's all going to be on Jacob. Definitely the man you'd want for the job, but he's not going to exactly realise where Peto's rotating to. Back towards the A site he goes, and Jacob, he may be a little bit late on this, but that smoke going to give away the position clearly. Going out onto stairs. Peto just making his way slowly but surely. Jacob's going to know, especially if that was a random smoke on the site. You know, Jacob could go, oh, he's probably throwing it from B-apps, but the fact that that's so precisely on stairs, Jacob doesn't, you know, he's not going to assume this is a B take with a bit of an A fake in the middle. So Peto starting his sneak out onto the A site, but Jacob's done with that pistol there, just playing the close range, obviously not holding the cross or anything, allowing a bomb plot if it comes to it. And it will. He's going to hear that same Molotov he used to get shanked a couple of rounds ago, and a perfect reaction. I love that from Jacob. He's going to be able to pick up the round single-handedly there. And no clutch today from Peto.
You've got to be looking at this CAZ eSports side right now and just going, they are going to be sitting there giggling on our way. The fact that they can get away with even kind of that bad of a misplay. Yeah, I'm going to go as far to say it. Letting those 2 kills be claimed the pedal towards the top of mid there was a misplay from the CT side. We could have seen a completely different round there where Barrage got themselves a foothold and from there made the comeback happen. But CAZ eSports are still able to just close it out. You've got Jacob just popping off 10 to 1 right now. Whether it's respect, whether it's just sheer prowess as a team, as we talked about at the start, CAZ eSports seem to be able to just walk over this T side currently. They need something. They need to pull out some sort of magic trick that's going to save them, perhaps even a pause, just something to break the momentum. Because right now, it's not looking like a 16-6. It's looking like a 16-0.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that one, to be honest. And again, this relentless aggression from Boaster, he's going to be pushed up in apps over in the B site. While Barrage may not be there, he's still going to get a fair bit of information in terms of sound cues that there's probably not going to be some kind of A-take going on. So really, this is a kind of position, if you're going to be going for these information plays like Boaster, and he's going to be pushing in deep, he should be at least pushing enough to make the call that, okay, we can rotate our second player off of B and onto A. That's the whole point of the aggression in apps. It allows you to, you know, make fluid rotations. And even Jacob's spotting here should kind of give away enough information that Boaster should be able to rotate, or at least justify some kind of push into the market. But either way, the A-take's going to come out here, Shank and Connor just running through the smoke. Connor, that's just disgusting. What can you do when you're up against that, Flakes?
It's just so well placed. Every single angle is being covered. You've got a kind of that apartment's palace sort of push, however you want to put it, being held from Sandwich. You've then got jungle being held by Connor, who's just going to sit there and just play around that shroud. What can you do, I think, is a very apt question there, to be honest, Hugo. What can Barrage change? Is there really anything they can bring?
Not run through smokes, maybe?
I mean, aside from running through smokes, but I feel like when you're at kind of 8-0, you have to try and do something different, right? If you go back to playing your own game of CS, I think that's already gone out the window. It's already in the bin. So they have to try and go for something kind of a little bit off the cuff. Maybe some flashes could have been helpful, but even then, I feel like they would have landed those shots. Velox is trying to keep the dream alive, trying to keep it intact. But Connor is just going to land those shots. Again, totals out with a 4K for him in that round, and we are up to 9-0.
Well, this is certainly shaping out to be the map that Ryan, I guess, wanted in a way. You know, he didn't want to be proven to be an idiot. He kind of wanted the stomp. I'd like to see Barrage get back into this one, but again, you know, even if they have a chance on the CT side, if they don't get at least 3 rounds on this T side, there's not going to be any option for them. Lose pistol, that's it. That's literally the game over. So they're going to need to finally start shaping up. And I like how they're switching up the strategy. They haven't tried this yet, but the issue is they haven't gone for a window smoke. That's going to be easy. Connor catches out the first one. Neto goes down. And now this short play is going to be crushed. And I mean, not only has he gotten that kill, but they've also got the information of where, you know, Barrage are hitting. They know there's likely going to be this B control. And combined with that, the short control. But the issue is, Boaster's not even focusing on apps, even though the smoke's down. It's quite a surprise. And talking about surprise, Wong, he's dropping on, but look, he just walks right past Jacob. Oh, he's going to pull out the pistol, but Shank's going to get the first drop on him. And good entries for Barrage. This site should be theirs. Finally looking like a round's going to shape their way.
Is this a round? Is this finally that foothold that we so dearly talked about? We wanted to see just something, a lifeline. Just a little bit of a beep in the meter. As that bomb is going to tick on away now. Reason and Widansky, the last 2 left remaining. Are they going to try and go for this 2 versus 4? It certainly seems like the cards are well and truly stacked against them. And Reason's deciding, you know what? I think it's time for me to walk away from this one. I'm gotta count my odds. Back off. Save this AWP. Bring the M4 as well for my teammate next in the round. Do some damage here and there as Wong is going to walk right into his crosshair. And I'm going to bring it back down to another moot point, Hugo. I'm going to wreck any atmosphere for the Barrage fans out there, because the one kind of huge apparent point, and I feel like you're almost just about to go into this, is this reset.
Reset. Let's go. Yeah. Obviously, if Barrage lose the upcoming round, we're going to be seeing another eco. I mean, no, maybe not. It depends on the bomb plant and what kind of money they have after this buy. They saved 3 players, which is very important. If they don't save any players, or they only save 1 or 2, we'd likely be seeing it. But either way, that doesn't matter, because if CAZ win this round, it's going to be reset time for Barrage's economy, and that is detrimental when you're 11 rounds in, Ryan. If that happens early on in the game, could be worse. You can still catch up from it. But when you're 9-1 down and you get reset, that's the half completely over. There's nothing else you can do. This is going to be reset anyway. Wong, just triple entry, casual as it is, leaves all on Jacob.
Most importantly, leaves all our concerns to the dust, as Jacob is that last man remaining with an AWP, and he's kind of left going, okay, boys, what happened? Like, where did you go? Kind of almost just licking his wounds now as he's standing over towards B, and He's in a pretty tough predicament, really. There's no choice, I think, for him to save. I think that's almost guaranteed. Just wants to bring the AWP because CAZ eSports, their money isn't going to last forever. I mean, you take a look at that right now. We're looking at 1050 on Connor, only 1,600 on Jacob, which I think is, has to be said. As much as Barrage weren't necessarily picking up rounds, they were always doing damage. So CAZ eSports haven't been able to build things up on their CT side. So it has to be saved, but could this lead to that 9-6? 10-5? Are we at that shred of hope?
Come on, don't be unrealistic. I mean,
is there a dream?
I'm joking. There is
someone standing out there in the stars looking up there going, I believe the boys in blue will take this home?
It is possible. Look at the money of CAZ. That's something as well you got to take into account. There should be a free round now for Barrage because the money is so impacted. The CAZ can't even afford to buy here. They've got a couple of pistols across the board, but by and large, it's going to be another round for Barrage. Damn, that rhymed. But yeah, another fast B play, it seems, straight into the site. I like that. The thing is, it just shows what the CT economy is like. CAZ win 9 rounds in a row, then they lose 2, and now they're on an eco. So it's just, again, that also rhymed. What is happening with me, Ryan? But
yeah, but they actually have to not lose this round, which the pistols are going to completely shut them down. The Lawnmower opposed to find himself a triple kill, as I hate to interject you there, but here you go. What is this? Triggered. What are we watching?
I'm so triggered.
Just because you want to be an Olympian, just because you want to win a marathon, doesn't mean that you can. That there is BarrageeSports falling on over. They cannot make it work. It's 10-2. What was that? Not
a single bit of damage was received by the CAZ players that round. Not 1 point of damage. They all left the server with 100 HP. Oh, for God's sake. GG to Boaster, but that was still just upsetting for Barrage to not have their angles covered. The fact that someone can just run in with a V250 and not be denied instantly is just quite upsetting. And that's, again, going to come down to one of these issues of Barrage communication and team play. Oh, but look at this Velox. Spots the rifle over on Connector. He's going to get caught out. Nice double play. That's a bait, I think. Connor just shoots him down from window. I think that was a purposeful bait.
If that was a bait, that is so damn smart.
No, that was a bait because Velox, not Velox, Reason.
You can see him kind of jiggling with his barrel.
Yeah, Reason wasn't playing the typical connector spot. He was pushed up by the plant pots, and you never hold underpass from that position. So he was just trying to bait out the play. That's very clever.
So clever, and again, I feel like, how many times have we said the phrase heartbreaking or something at this point?
Well, you, not me.
Yeah, I feel like I am kind of riding a bit of a wave of emotions right now. They say casting is all about kind of going with it, on the ups and the downs. Well, I don't really know where we're at right now, but it's a bit of a bumpy one as Barrage. There is possibility. They have got the SG on towards one, of course, 3 rifles all in all. Shank going to try and hold the angle onto Windansky, punishes him the OV aggression as Pedo going to find out towards mid, gets himself the double kill as he picks off Jacob as well. Now swings into a connector. He gets it on towards Connor, so it is going to be Barrage with a quick mop up, getting themselves a 3. Look at the economy of CAZ actually.
Very up and down. They can still buy, obviously, but Reason's actually not got a lot of cash to his name. Drop should be easy though. Even so, he can just get up a pistol if he needs be. And I don't think I'm too worried about CAZ's prospects, especially with the amount of ridiculous rounds that they've been winning, without losing a single player, especially with peaks like that. That was perfect. That was vintage Jacob,
That was, special edition. Can't just pick that one up. I think Connor is going to find himself just another with the M4, just going to add them to the tally almost, add a little bit of extra cheek to the situation as they drop a Molotov in towards window, but I don't think that's really going to be too influential in the grand scheme of things. All that's going to do is kind of tell Barrage with a bit of a subtle hint of, okay, you've got window control, but what about short? What about Jacob, who's going to be the thorn in your side? At every single point that you think him, to not be there, every single point you don't expect Jacob to appear, he's right behind you, lurching in the shadows with that AWP, and yeah, looking to be pretty brutal for them at this point. They're so concerned about mid that they are actually just going to back off and decide, okay, maybe we have to just push directly out on towards the site, which, considering the numbers, Hugo, isn't necessarily a bad idea. They've only got this 3v5, so going for these ramp entries certainly could work out for them. But then there's the utility question. Yeah, it's pretty much going to be one flash and then you're done.
Yeah, that's the issue. With this kind of buy left on yourself, you're going to want to just flash yourself into B. It's the safest option. A, so open, and you need those smokes to cut off so many positions as well as a Molotov. Windansky's already proven to be a bit of a threat on the balcony, and without being able to clear him out, especially with a lack of split coming from Palace, which I don't blame them for, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to find anything this round. It's all going to be on Windansky. Peto does get the entry, though, but Windansky's not showing himself, and this, while some people would see his bait, is very, very clever.
Check 2 kills and
3! Connor actually gets the first one, though. It takes away from the hype, but great stuff from Windansky.
Hugo, why didn't they check that?
Because he
Help me
didn't
out
peek. That's the whole point. If you play that position, and you see Peto get that first entry over towards CT, and you're like, oh, okay, there's not been a repeat from under balcony, so it's going to be clear. Well, in an ESEA puck, that's baiting, and you should be minus repped for it, or minus karma'd for it. In an actual game where you have communication, you know what your teammate's doing. It's the safest option because you don't show yourself. You allow your teammates to rotate back in, and not only that, you go unnoticed.
Still think these guys should just be checking these corners. It's wow, what a matchup so far. Reason gonna find us just another headshot. Smart play maybe brought to the table, but it is the antidote of CAZ eSports that is also shutting it down.
You talk about ramp. Did you just see what Reason did? They threw a smoke out, and by the time before the smoke even popped, they were out at Tetris, and Reason just peeks right as the smoke pops and takes a free kill. That's another issue. You talked about their ramp control being severely lackluster. Well, if you're going to push out before the smoke's down, what do you expect? Dear. At least they got 3 rounds. I mean,
at least they got 3 rounds, right? I mean, they only have to get 3 more to get that best case scenario.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to look at it. No, at least they weren't 16-0'd, or
I think
weren't 15-0'd.
It's a bit of a positive aspect to it, but I'm looking at some of these rounds, Hugo, and I'm still, you may not physically be 16-0'd, but mentally,
oh, definitely.
I don't know. There's got to be an argument to some of these rounds as being that far out there, that far with that kind of aura of craziness. Some of these shots, that yeah, I think it really kind of explains itself. Either way, it is going to be going to the second half though. And what are you thinking? I'm thinking all or nothing pistol round, really.
I mean, who doesn't? Yeah, at this point, you need that pistol. It'll be interesting to see if CAZ are just going to go for balls to the wall, full Glock armor, rush B or something, or if they're actually going to go for a proper smoke take and do something interesting. Because when you're at 12-3, it's sometimes hard to justify anything strategic. You just want to go for an aggressive, just fast push. And it actually seems like they are going for something strategic, which I do like. They're not letting confidence get the better of them, and they're just playing it a lot safer. So in towards middle they go. They've got the 2 smoke players outside of A, so this could result in 2 things. Either a fast short play, which is very unlikely, or the 3 players in middle splitting in through connector through these smokes, which would be a very, very clever play. I would like to see that. So smokes are going to go down on A site. That's jungle and palace taken, but oh no, it is the short play. Okay, this is interesting. The thing is, if you were going to do this, you usually like to have a window smoke down, so the CTs didn't know where you're going. But either way, they're going to get there relatively unscathed. Only 1 death so far, and that's Jacob. Neto's on the site with a USB, but he's only 3 HP, and they should be able to clear him out fairly quickly, but Windansky's going to fall, and now this is starting to fall apart from CAZ. They've not hit a shot yet.
Yeah, seemingly a bit of a struggling situation right now. Connor eventually going to claw back on towards Neto, but it is going to be the 2 versus 4. They really need to start picking these up for Reason. Just another gush on towards Velox, another on towards Pedo, leaving us in a 1 versus 1, Wong versus Connor. The shots are going out, but it is going to be that gush on towards the cranium of Wong. He is left done and dusted. CAZ eSports in a very close pistol round, it has to be said, unable to seal the deal on the side of Barrage. CAZ, they take it 13-3.
That's great individual performance from Connor there.
For sure, stepping out exactly in the time we need, and I think almost a counterpoint to that, look towards Neto and say he had a real big opportunity to do so much more from his position when they were pushing from short. I hate to kind of really look at one player and say, you could have been better, but he was unfortunately just tapping at heads, tapping at 3 separate different players, and unfortunately was unable to find a single pick until later on in the round.
Yeah. No analysis needed for that. 13-3.
It is what it is.
I think I'm going to agree with you. This should be over, right? The scout play is interesting. It may luckily catch them off guard, considering they have a lot of SMGs and not the AKs. But at the end of the day, still we're seeing CAZ likely with the win coming out ahead of them. Jacob's going to be pushing into B. There are 3 players stacked towards here. He doesn't clear out the site. Going to get tagged down to 4 HP, but still focusing on Shank. Where's Shank's teammate? Why is he still baiting him on top of the box? He needs to be pushing towards him, but ring around the roses. Jacob finally going to go down. It's a 4-on-4. For the rest of the cats are all going to be hitting it towards the relatively unprotected A, and Connor, again, another massive round for him with 2 entries.
He's feeling pretty crisp at this point. So it's just going to be Neto and Peso, the dynamic duo. Trying to make the best out of a pretty awkward situation now. It is going to be needed to find one with the pistol, as mentioned. Taps away on towards Windansky. So a bit of a reward. But is that couple $100 going to actually be worth too much in the context of a round? Yeah, unfortunately, really not. It is going to be just backing off with the UMP here and there. 14-3.
Yeah, they should be getting away with those guns fairly easily as well on the T side. Just moving away from the bomb, so no more losses than they really need to. And obviously, at this point, it's an awkward situation for Barrage because, yes, they are keeping the guns and the armor into the next round, but where is that really going to go? If they continue to save at these kind of situations, it's just going to end up resulting in them losing the map. There's only 2 more rounds left needed for CAZ, so it's not going very well for Barrage. I think that's the understatement of the year.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I think, that's kind of where we're at this point. Rifles are plenty, though, for this T side. Looking to still make some money as well, which I kind of do like that from CAZ. They're not, you know, it might be a little bit of cheek in the same regard, but they're just playing their normal CS. They're not doing anything they wouldn't normally do, no matter the scoreline, right? They're keeping that MAC-10 in play, keeping the UMP, and they're just going to look for these picks and see how things will swing, and potentially even try and just push them further into their fade. There is the weights, should we say, already are pretty bogged down. I think that's apparent, but Barrage, they do have an opportunity to try and kind of squeeze out a couple more rounds at least and put a bit of a fighting chance of Jacob. Aggression towards mid, finds the frag on towards Wong. Shank responds with just a bit of a pistol tapping. He finds that quick affair. And Reason over towards CT trying to clear out that angle. Bellox will try and contest now. He's got Pedo coming up from behind him, so they could actually do quite a lot here in terms of this kind of bait and switch, which allows Pedo actually to snap with the Deagle and get himself one. But when Danskill towards Sandwich gets the quick trade on towards Neto, as he then tries to find a trade in himself. So a whole big trading affair, and well, one that is a pretty awkward situation, but the Eagles, as mentioned, still keeping it close.
Yeah, now Connor, I mean, it's a doable situation, but time is ticking away and he's going to find himself a quick pick. Shanked is going to be holding into the connector. He peeks into it, gets that first kill, turns back around, and Peto, he's repositioned, yes, but he still knows exactly where he is. Uses as his last utility just to flash him out, but that bomb's going to still be in the hands of Peto. He'll be holding it, and he'll be giving away his position as well. In the meantime, spraying away, but Connor's going to land the shot. CAZ, they pick up the 15th round, and need I say GG at this point. Barrage, their money is in absolute tatters.
Yeah, it really is a bit of a shipwreck position for them now, and I'm kind of looking at the scoreboard and seeing if any kind of real starlight springs out for me, and just kind of almost, you know, listening back to a couple of these rounds as well. And Connor, I think it's pretty apparent, 27-8 right now, really has been the man to kind of take the CAZ flag, hold it nice and high, and say, you know what, boys, we're taking this one home today. This is going to be our victory for us, and I think that certainly does speak 1,000 words in regards to just his stats. And
yeah, and
they're not really as a weak link though for the CT side, or for what was the CT side of CAZ either, was there?
No, and especially with the fact that Connor is getting those impact frags as well. I mean, we thought they'd lost the pistol, but he somehow goes up and gets a 4K there. So it just shows it's not just, you know, anti-eco frags or pointless frags. He's actually getting real impact kills, and that's something so important. But I mean, it's all on Wong. It was all on Wong. Round's going to be over though, and the map concluded. Ryan, I've got to give it to you. You made the prediction. You called a 16-3, and you were definitely right on that. So that is going to be the win going for CAZ. Barrage, not a great start for them. Is there a chance they can bring it back in the second map?
I think that's almost pretty self-explanatory. It is what it is. I'm expecting maybe a 16-5 in the second map. I think that would be my my go-to prediction, but who knows? And kind of the last thing I want to do though, Hugo, is just before we throw to a break to get into the second map, I want one word just to describe what we've just witnessed.
Abusive. Let's go with that.
Abusive. There you have it, boys. Of course, this has been map 1 of this best of 2 series. We'll be right back with you very, very soon.
ammunition. I play video games for a living. Guys, I'm
really not caring about you.
I literally am sitting on the point. No one has noticed. Just distracted. I think one of the things that draws people to my stream is my personality. I just got a quadruple kill. I didn't know what to do with that. The fact that I'm even paying my bills off of playing video games is something I would have never expected to be able to do. Oh my god!
Behind you, Stefan.
I started streaming about 2 years ago, and it was very nerve-wracking because I had no idea what to expect. I'm flying to point 2. If you asked me 5-10 years ago if that was something I thought I could do, I would have told you that there was no way. So being able to predict where streaming is going is just not something that any of us really know how to do. The process of streaming is very CPU intensive. So having a very strong CPU means that you're going to get a higher quality stream, which is better for your viewers. Both of the CPUs that I use are Intel i7. I was looking for a very strong graphics card and a very strong CPU. It's almost required that you have very strong versions of both of those. I had never built my own PC before, so I wanted the challenge of it. I knew that if I were able to build my own PC, I could fix it at any time or upgrade the parts whenever I wanted. People are always interested in custom-built PCs. I usually encourage people to build their own because you get a lot of experience and knowledge out of the process. I think the most rewarding part of being a streamer is when people message me and tell me that they had a bad day and that my stream was able to provide them with some entertainment, and I know that even if I can't fix the problems that are going on in their lives, I can at least distract them for a little while with some smiles, hopefully.
PC gaming is one of the most exciting forms of gaming because you can build your own custom case, you can buy a nicer CPU. PC enthusiasts can really customize their experience. And that's where it really differs from a console.
Touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. From the dust we will awaken, and life will fill our veins. But these are the moments that we live for. I can keep it inside of me. Touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. Touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive.
screen and touch the sky. A star's light shines on long after it dies. Oh, in the night, I live every day as if it's your last. Our memories been bright like beacons of the past. Oh, in the night, now we race against the sun. Now we race against the Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Now we race.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the UK Gaming Tours. Here we're into Season 1 and we're jumping into the second map of CAZ versus Barrage. Now, we just witnessed what we would say is abusive from CAZ, a 16-3 on Barrage, and we're hoping that Barrage can bring something back, you know, make something work. I'm not hopeful. I don't think you are either, Flakes. Come on, what do you think? What do you call it?
I'm not hopeful. I think it was a pretty speedy recovery, all in all, for CAZ to close it down out. Just nice and comfortably, I think, is the easiest way to describe it, really. So I don't think I'm expecting much, especially Cobblestone as well. I think it's kind of one of Jacob's playground maps. Yeah, Barrage, you're back up against the wall, unfortunately. I hate to do this to you. I know your management will be sitting there, and all your supporters and everything will be sitting there going, boys, come on, where's the faith for the boys in blue? But unfortunately, there's just that one darker shade right now on the server. That is CAZ eSports, and they seem to be the better side.
Yeah, but one thing obviously that we got to take into account is obviously CSGO is a game that many people know is pay to win, and I think that's something that Barrage are seriously struggling with. And something that would incredibly increase their game is a Western Digital SSD. And funnily enough, you can actually get your hands on one of those Western Digital SSDs if you would like. We're actually running a giveaway tomorrow for a 250 gigabyte drive. Is that going to be on Twitter, I assume?
Yeah, I think it'll be on Twitter. I think it'll really bring them that extra aura of speed, right? It'll push them forward, give them the opportunity to perhaps strike up against the side of CAZ eSports, and, well, BarrageeSports, you know what to do. Get yourself on Western Digital.
Yeah, so if you are looking for a nice big 250 SSD Western Digital drive, be sure to head over to @UKG Tours over on Twitter, and I'm sure they'll be doing that tomorrow for you guys. So jumping into the second map in just a few minutes, I'm sure. We just had the knife round, which CAZ obviously picked up, and then we'll be going into the pistol. I can imagine they'll be sticking with the side. I don't know. I say that, but Cobble is a map where, you know, you can kind of pick either side. It doesn't really matter too much which side you start on. It's going to come down to preference, much like how Dust 2 is a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think it's quite literally, okay, do we want to take our T side second or first? I think that's usually the question that gets asked, and that comes down to, I think, whether you're a momentum-based team, whether you feel like your opposition are going to be able to build up rounds as well on their T side, and whether you think you can just overcome them quickly on the CT side. Because let's not forget, on Cobblestone, as much as it is a map now that has swung to that T side direction, if you can play a very solid CT side, if you're landing your shots and you're able to, you know, outplay a team, you can actually look for those 12-3s, like, you know, 11-4 markers on a CT side. You can still overrun a T side team. There's a lot of opportunity there.
The thing I'm most surprised about is after you usually stomp a team, you do often see that team that won the previous game just straight up pick the T side, regardless of the map, mainly because they want to just, you know, dictate the pace of the rounds. They don't want to be sitting around waiting for a team that's not going to be very good to push in towards their grasp. They want to be directing the gunfights. They want to be the one cleaning up the map ASAP. And they've actually gone for the safer option, which is to go towards CT. Even if this is slightly T-sided, it's typically the preference. And we're going to be jumping into this one anyway. Barrage setting up towards the A site. They have one fake player down towards B, and Peto, he's likely to either be splitting in through the connector or just holding for aggressive rotations from CAZ. But I mean, they've got to know where he is. He's just made that drop sound, and Connor is very, very close. So he should have all the information he needs. But in the meantime, the important part is 4 members or 3 members of Barrage are still outside of A.
Yeah, they certainly seem to be kind of shuffling around, where their positions though are. So I don't think it leaves that kind of door open to perhaps that aura of mystery of where Barrage are actually going to head. Who is the real Barrage? Find those players. Almost a bit of a magazine-style fashion. We're still just waiting for that response really. Coming down to 55 seconds. Looks like it is going to be a build-up though over towards mid to A. So our final predictions have rolled on through. Jacob going to have his work cut out for him, playing very, very close for the kit, which actually could be somewhat difficult. But he peeks on through, bends it around the side, and gets that shot on towards Velox. So a pitch-perfect start. Has got there to hold off the cross. Gets the frag on towards Neto, looking for a second reason. Just another one towards Shanks. Pedo, tapping on away. Eventually gets that frag and return on towards Jacob. So a kit is going to be dropped in as mentioned, a bit of a tough position, but one that Reason is going to walk on over to get to. As then when Dansky flies in and says, boys, well, my one-taps, they bring the boys to the yard. And Barrage are sent right back home.
Yep, just waiting on Petter to eventually get wall banged. There we go, Connor will find it. And CAZ, they are going to pick up that pistol round there with good style, only losing 1 player as well. So, 2 players. So, nothing too difficult for them indeed. And I mean, Ryan, I'm personally not a fan of casting stomps, but I think we're going to have to subject ourselves through that.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a torture session for us, really. I think I am going to hold
I'm for
by my...
Barrage, Don't take them out of this. They're going to be going through the worst part, Do
you have good insurance, Hugo? Do you have like a good doctor and stuff? Because I feel like Barrage are really going to need to kind of ask for some favors soon.
Yeah, at least we don't have the the mental anguish of getting 16-3. That's
True.
one positive, right?
But we had to watch it, right? We had to go through that as well, so we were almost part of that journey.
I'm happy with being paid to watch someone get 16-3, dude. I'm not going to lie.
Well, at least one thing you haven't paid to watch is completely not a bloodbath in this round. BarrageeSports are going to find themselves beheaded around a fountain. A pretty mystical death for them, as CAZ Esports will take it 2-0 and a comfortable start on their CT side as we await that first buy round from Barrage, which should be coming in just that 4th round. But for now, I'm sorry, Hugo, I've got some bad news. Barrage, well, their heartbeat has gone a little bit dead, as it is just pistols.
Yeah, Ryan, I've got to say, something that's really surprising me, about this is the fact if you look at the league standings for this event, Barrage are actually at the very, very top, They're at the top of the standings. How are they losing to CAZ? Let's have a look at the standings. Where's CAZ? CAZ is near the bottom. Come on, Ryan. What's happening?
Yeah, see, the thing about this is that CAZ haven't actually
I'm just
played
going
a
to
match.
clarify, that was a joke.
Yeah, I mean... I feel like I have to now touch on this though. We kind of dodged this topic all night, really, haven't we? We have kind of let it slide on by, and I thought we'd be doing now a disservice if we didn't talk about it. Which is that the only reason Barrage are top of the leaderboard right now on the UK Gaming Tours is off the back of their win against Rasta Gaming.
I think it's well known. Rasta are by far one of the better teams in this event. No, I'll stop memeing.
Stop memeing. Just let's put it to rest, Hugo.
I'm going to get
fired.
down. Yeah, I'm going to get fired. Yeah, no, CAZ haven't played a game yet, so that's
it's
fine.
A great start though, at least. Bring it back
Yeah,
to that
I
kind of
know,
professional
yeah.
level. It's a
Barrage
solid
have
start
got
for these players.
Barrage have got their first and their last win,
Ouch, that's gonna sting. I can already feel the tweets getting tapped on in.
Yeah,
Barrage
dude.
management gonna be there, kind of going, Hugo, how could you say this about us? We were there to support you. We thought you were gonna give us SSDs, man. What's up with that?
Well, if they enter the giveaway, dude, they can get an SSD if they want. It's all open, It's only a meme anyway. I'm only
All about the memes, my friend. All
Right,
about the
throwing
memes. All
shade,
about having a
yeah.
good time as well. Whipping out those glasses, knocking off that shade. You just got to shake it off.
Yeah. But hopefully Barrage are actually going to have their own good time as they storm into B. It's going to be a full plat control. Only 4 players. Windansky's boosted it up, but it doesn't matter because Boaster's doing the damage. The bomb is the first to go out. Not too sure why, but it's going to get dropped. Shank does try and commit, and he actually gets a refrag onto Windansky, but it's still the man advantage here for the CT side. Jacob's still deep in the site. Oh, he catches out 2. There's still one more, and it's Velox. He's just going to get mown down through the smoke, and CAZ a 4-0 in great fashion there, especially from Jacob.
Jacob yet again finds himself 10-1. I feel like we've been here before, Hugo. We've witnessed the same end. Who knows where this is going to go, but I'm certainly got a rough idea, and I have one key question for that round. One key bit of analysis, and I'm going to really incite this. This is next level. This is days level analysis to you right now, Hugo. Don't take the bomb out first when you're pushing out ramp. Just don't.
Wow.
Mind
I'm
blown.
enlightened.
You really feel like you can feel that kind of knowledge imparted in your brain right there.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
I never knew that. But back into another round, another attempt at B for Barrage. They're going to be storming in, and Shank's actually going to go and get the first kill for the T side, but at the cost of losing 2 of his brothers. Reason's going to get a bit aggressive over towards A on long, and actually Velox almost being able to catch him out, down to 13. It will be the trade, but if Velox actually got that kill originally, it would have been back into a 3-on-3, so it's so disheartening now for Barrage, as they're once again an engagement away from being in an equal situation. Dansky, though, in the meantime, has pushed himself up on B long, so if they do eventually commit towards a late B, he is going to be in the prime position to shut them down.
Yeah, a real big opportunity wants to take place. Pedo is just going to be still lurching around this window, though, and has an opportunity to take a fight against Boaster, which, if he wins it, does give him that round-winning ideology in the back of his mind. That's why Dansky there to hold the angle, though, and it looks like it has fallen into place for him. Shock horror, unfortunately, for the boys of Barrage as they walk into the crosshairs of the CT side. They are going to get those picks, and from there it is going to be Jacob as the game is so helpfully going to tell us, letting us know that he's lasted pretty much 3 rounds back-to-back now. Bit of a similar affair for a lot of his teammates as well, as CAZ eSports will take it 5-0 on their CT side.
Yep, very successful start. Obviously, this is a bit similar to the previous map that we just saw in Mirage. There is a chance that Barrage could actually bring in a bit of firepower eventually. You know, this is one of the maps where it's a little more catered towards the T side. It's not quite the Mirage, so yeah, there's definitely potential that Barrage could actually have an opening eventually. And I hope that they do. I hope that they don't just falter and get 16-0. That will be a bit upsetting. Either way, they're going to be straight into a 4-on-4, and that is actually going to favour the Ts, obviously, because it's going to mean more CTs have to split across the map, which makes it harder to hold onto a site against a full rush of players. In the meantime, Shank's going to get tagged down to 15, so not a great start for Barrage in that sense. Still, they're remaining strong, they're remaining diligent, they can still pick this round up. It's definitely not out.
Not out just yet, but it is going to be a tough journey home for the Barrage boys. They have themselves a B site on their bucket list. That's all they want right now. They just want to take that B site. They're asking for just one thing, Hugo. It's not much. It's just a B site, right? It's a simple task. Get those headshots. Get yourself out on towards Fountain. Get yourself out on towards Plat. And find those frags. But are they going to be able to accomplish it? Do they really have the ability to make that push? Well, it's going to be a bit of a curveball from Jacob. He misses the shot though, but they don't change. They don't check. They just hold the same angles. The repetition is going to be what haunts them. Jacob is missing these shots, but he's given repeat after repeat after repeat. Ladies and gentlemen, CAZ eSports are just getting so many opportunities. And I want to sit here. I don't want to be like the guy who stands on a castle and flames a team. But Barrage shouldn't have given 3 opportunities, even though they're mid-gunfight. Just flick around and one of you deal with that AWP that's shooting you in the side.
Flex, I know you don't want to bully your friends, your family, all the people in the UK scene, but I can volunteer as tribute. The fact that Jacob whiffed 2 shots and Barrage didn't even react is painful. I won't be rude. I'm just gonna say that, you know.
You're just saying it how it is. It's facts.
Yeah, it's a fact.
It's not flame.
Fact, you know?
It's fact. It's what we're seeing on paper. It's what we're watching on stream. BarrageeSports, take a pause for a second. Wake up. Get yourself
that's something
in game.
else to talk about, definitely. They didn't even pause in the previous map after getting absolutely stomped on the first map. Now, obviously, there are a lot of teams that may not know exactly what they're doing wrong. You know, they won't know what to talk about in the pause. It does take a certain amount of experience in that sense, but even if you're just going to pause for 2 minutes just to calm down, just to, you know, stop your heart from beating out your chest, that could always be positive. So I'm surprised that Barrage haven't even thought about that. Once you get to 8-0 and you're not pausing, that's going to be quite scary. So hopefully they'll eventually call that one in, but maybe they're actually going to pick up a round off the back of Velox's 2K. Great stuff so far. They're going to be rotating back towards B, and that's the right call to make here, because you can see the rotations found from CAZ are very, very aggressive. Connor's already pushed up towards A, and Boaster, he's going to realise that the rest of these Ts are heading back in towards a B site. So a rotation from him as well, back in towards B, but he is going to be up against 3 fast-pushing Brits.
Players that shouldn't really be holding back at all now. They just want to get themselves on, but he finds that first headshot on towards Velox. So a good start. Is he going to be able to find a second? Unfortunately, not for him. Neto is going to take him down. It is going to be that trade as Connor then and now come in from behind. But the Barrage know where he is almost certainly now. He's fired off a couple of shots. He has missed a few. That means Connor has himself up against, well, quite literally a brick wall. A nade to land at the feet of Peto. Just a little bit more damage to be extinguished. He is going to creep ever so carefully, step by step. Flies on out. Peto should be able to win that battle nice and easily. Barrage, they're on the board. But now I have to repeat myself again, which has kind of almost been my biggest bugbear as a caster. It's the thing I'm trying to fix, Hugo. I don't want to, you know, find myself repeating myself. But first map, we talked about that reset potential. It was at, you know, arguably a point where even getting reset wasn't necessarily the be-all end of life. At 6-1, getting reset is almost kind of the worst case now for Barrage, because we're at that point in the game where if they get reset here, they literally can't pretty much do anything for quite a lot of the half, the bulk of the half.
Yeah, that is obviously a bit of a detriment, but let's not, push them out of the server before they've even had a chance. They're running back into B. We know what Jacob's like. We're whiffing the shots as well, so he is going to be on the other side of the map, though, luckily. Duindansky is the first to fall, but he's still going to be an equal trade. Back into a 4-on-3, though, as Barrage. They finally take the man advantage back their way. Jacob, though, he's hot on the flank, and they need to realise this. No one's holding behind, but he is going to be a little bit far away. He's going to have to push all the way down long, and he will. Wong is going to get taken out. Jacob peeking in for more. They shouldn't be challenging this one. They don't have the utility to force him out. They should just try and get this bomb down, but Connor, he's going to get boosted. That's going to be perfect. Shank just misses the angle, but Peto instead gets a kill. Connor trades, and Shank's right back on it. So now it's going to be a 1v2. They played this situation last round perfectly. Can they do it again? Barrage need to pick up this round. They can't afford that reset to go and impact them. Jacob sneaking around the angle. A solo peek from Velox, and it will work out. Very, very close indeed. But Barrage, they aren't going to get reset. They're going to keep on strong, and 2 rounds found from them, actually forcing CAZ down in terms of money just a little bit more, but they can still just afford a buy.
Just by the skin of their teeth, though, bear in mind, Windansky, just really no money for him, so it is going to force the shotgun out, and is that even going to be a drop for him? I think he kind of thought something was coming his direction, but instead it's almost been played a bit of a mockery by his teammates now, as he's going to be flat USP, and a Mag 7, and then 3 rifles. J-Chem been missing a couple of shots with his AWP, has to be said, but we'll look to hammer this one home now as he starts to realise, okay, we can't afford to start to drop any more rounds. Connor going to find the first. J-Chem, an opportunity to perhaps even go aggressive here, but decides, you know what, no, that's not quite the smartest play. Instead, going to play around my teammates as he drops down that flash. Will look for the pick on towards Wong, but misses the shot, but Wong isn't able to respond. The flash completely blind him as then the repeat comes in and gets himself a second, now looking for the third. Scripted over towards Long, as Velox will try and find the trade. Peto just another for him, but a tally that is favouring that CT side.
Yeah, Connor just tapping away, takes a peek eventually. He's going to get away with a kill onto Peto, but now Velox, he is alone. They're going to go in for the fight, but Jacob's just going to miss that shot. He's had a great round so far, but he can't continue with the third kill. Still, the bomb is down. Connor's tagged up, but the time is still plentiful here for Velox. He can definitely make this one work, and if he sneaks down into the lower matrix area and catches out Connor, who is tagged up as we just said, this could actually be a doable round here. He's just got to take this first engagement, and he's got 2 1-on-1s. Connor peeking, goes down, and now Velox, he's suddenly turned it around. AK back in hand, not even doming that up, and 30 seconds left to make something work. If he wants to hit B, he's got to be pretty quick about it, but it seems like he's going to be committing towards A. The last few seconds of the round ticking on as he starts to push his way up ramp.
Smoking of door, so a smart play all in all. Nearly has an opportunity to catch the head of Boaston. I think he may have just spotted him out by the skin right there, and certainly a questionable thought process as he's just going to be peeking around this van. Picks up that bomb. Boaster trying to buy his time almost as well, and he just plays one so perfectly. But Velox, a quick flick from him, is able to hammer it home as BarrageeSports get themselves to 3. And now take a glance at that economy of CAZ. Hugo, we may have to start eating our words, because this is almost certainly going to be going 6-4 unless... And again, another bit of repetition for you. I mean, CAZ eSports, they stomped with these pistols.
Yeah, we said that last time, didn't we, on Barrage? We were like, okay, CAZ are on Eco, so the round's going to be won by Barrage, and then they didn't even lose a single player. The thing is...
kind of said
you didn't oversell Velox, though. You were telling me before the game, Velox is the one standout player for Barrage that we've really got to pay attention to, and you were definitely right. He has been performing very, very well individually, and that's something important as well. It seems like Barrage are playing a lot safer. They know what they're up against. They don't want to get ecoed like they did on Mirage, and they're actually just holding back very passive this round, which will be working out. 3 kills found their way, and no deaths received either, so CAZ so far have been unsuccessful in their endeavours.
Yeah, which means that perhaps the pistol dreams are over. They are going to be just dropping down their backpacks, leaving them in a corner, perhaps even pistols next to Sloop, as the deal and P250 is all that remain for the CAZ eSports side. And we can't really expect anything too crazy. I think the biggest thing to kind of look towards now is CAZ eSports on a bit of a journey of damage, just looking to catch a couple of shots, bend them around a few doors. But Wong and Shank will combine and make themselves some money, most notably with Shank's SMG, but also Wong with that rifle just to seal it out and make sure that for the Barrage side, they start to minimize things, because we talked about this economic risk for Barrage. Well, if they keep it clean, if they can hold it together, they are starting to build up a fairly good chunk of wealth that will actually help them out towards the end of this half, meaning that if they do get a bit of an upset curveball round, they still have enough economy to buy up for something like a 10-5, which it may still be pretty damn tough for them, considering they've only got 5 on their T side, and they've allowed the CAZ to get themselves a 10 if that takes case. At least they've got the economy to contest for that, and it's not something as blisteringly bad as what would have been a 12-3.
Yeah, the main issue for that is, at least if we look at the scoreboard here and we look at the rounds that Barrage have won, look at how many players they've kept alive in at least in the first 3. 2, 2, 1. And then obviously in the last round they kept 5, which is good in terms of economy, as you were saying. But, you know, if they can carry on the same streak of losing 4 players every round that they win, you're not going to build up your economy because you're going to have constant rebuys. It costs 30, you get 250 for winning the round, but if they have to rebuy every single round, it's going to be a net loss, you know. So it's very important that they keep a few rifles into these later rounds, even if they do win them.
Jacob going for a quick flick and met with a quick response of, unfortunately, a bit of a miss for him, but Connor is going to peek out towards Jump and nets himself a nice and comfortable one on towards Shanked, and then before that decides to adjust himself back around that angle, meaning that he isn't going to overface. A huge point there, because then it means that when he does go for that second peek we see there, it plays into his hands almost perfectly. Eventually, he will actually almost eat his own words there, so some interesting decisions being made and a bit back and forth, but Petto is going to find that headshot. But Barrage are at some dwindling numbers, and Reason kind of lurching just almost directly behind Petto with the shotgun.
Ooh.
He drops a big load of lead right in his back. Meanwhile, Barrage, though, are overplaying the fake on towards the A site.
Yep, nice retake attempt though from CAZ. They weren't even fully committing Jacob to the site. He was just allowing his teammates to get back into position so they could fully react to this one all together. And Wong and Neto will both hit with kill each. Jacob comes back in with the AWP, but Neto, he's still alive and kicking here, trying to shoot his way out of this one, but Boaster, he's going to land all the bullets he needs, takes him down, Defuse will come in, and CAZ, they remain strong for this round, keeping 2 rifles into the next one as well. So a 7-4. Barrage definitely not out of this. They do have their own potential now to reset the economy of CAZ, which is something that's so important as well, being on that T side, with the fact that how shaky it is to buy up as a CT. So that's what Barrage have really got to be on the lookout for now. They've kept this economy on the high. They want to go for the buy now, and they want to reset CAZ, and they should have the half in the bag with a fairly decent score.
Comes down to pretty much one round. Make it or break it time, Hugo. This is when the pressure starts to build up. We saw what has to be said, a bit of a rusty performance now coming in from the CTs. Almost a bit of overfacing here and there. A couple of back and forths where we're like, okay, this is what they're doing. And then they kind of surprise us almost as they go for these repeaks. Jacob, though, being fairly smart in that last clutch is, you know, exactly what we wanted to see. Didn't need to repeak after missing that first shot. Just wait for his teammate Boaster to then come in and help him. How does that kind of pay off in this round? That is the question that we're all looking to answer, as it is going to be early damaged on towards Shank, to Nade to land at his feet over towards Drop. I think kind of taking a glance at the CT side setup, they're almost kind of relying on the fact that Barrage are going to push them, and then they're looking for those shots, which is a throwback to that kind of the first buy round we witnessed and the first kind of set of bloodbaths that we watched unfold. Perhaps this kind of more vintage CAZ, as he said, is what will enable them to win this round, deny that reset.
Very likely, yes. The really slow play though from Barrage. The issue is they're not really getting too much information from this. They are just holding back, and that's understandable, but in this kind of position, even if you are holding a default, it's gotten down to 45 seconds, and they've got not only no map control, but no information on the whereabouts of these CTs, and you can see only now are they starting to probe. Shank's putting a bit of pressure with nade usage down on Drop, and finally one will get an entry, so that's actually going to spell good things here for Barrage as they start to charge up onto this A site. Molotov's going to be going in. There's one player pushed down A long, which they need to worry about, but he's only got a shotgun, so Barrage are looking quite good in this one. Pistol going to be pulled out from Reason, but he gets executed from Velox, and now the bomb going to be going down as well. Boaster grabs himself one, but Barrage are still going to be on the upper end of this round.
Yeah, it seems to all have just gone a little bit wrong now for the CT side. Just a couple of decisions that have been almost a bit pie-face, so to speak. That means they have no choice but to back off. I think they know their economy is a bit in the gutter, and with that it is going to be a quick dart over towards B platform. From there, a journey quick into spawn. You know, you talked about this half, you talked about this scoreline. Barrage are actually starting to fight this one back, and no joke, this is not kind of just the memes or kind of the overzealous comments almost. No, this is genuinely serious. Barrage actually have a chance now at competing in the second half if they can keep stringing things together and just keep the next couple of rounds clean and sensible.
Honestly, if you have a good CT and you get 6 rounds on the T side, you're not really going to have too many issues on the second half. So it's definitely possible that they can make it work. I'm not counting them out at all. And it's good to see that even after a complete, abysmal first map, they've pulled it together and they've not just let the tilt get to them and just gone, okay, well, I guess we're going to lose. It's okay, whatever, better luck next time. They've gone, okay, guys, we're going to need to win. Let's pull it out. Let's do this one properly.
I think they know full well that that's exactly what they're looking for in terms of points as well, right? Because they don't want to throw away a top spot that they've got. They want to be there for as long as possible.
Yeah, that's definitely important. And even if there are many better teams in this event, it doesn't mean that they should just give up and not try. You know, it's good to see them actually putting it into overdrive, and they're definitely doing well this round as well. So this is turning out to be really, really fruitful. Look at Wong though, copying BarrageeSports. He's going to be able to pick up a couple of kills over towards that B site. 4 in fact. The reason he has that Nova. So he should definitely get the kill if Wong even tries to attempt this ace, but I can't blame him for chasing him down. Reason turns around, allows him to walk past, takes the shot off anyway, goes in for a bit more, gonna get the tag, not the kill. Petto just waiting for him to walk back into his embracing arms. It's only an over, he shouldn't be too worried here, but he can't afford to get too close. And he should just be able to clean it up. There we go, that's the kill. And Barrage, 6 rounds in, this is good stuff from them.
And much, much better, and kind of now going to what will be our 14th. It is not even a patchwork economy for the CAZ side. They just don't have any money left. They're all but broke. They're relying on purely, giveaways and the like to get themselves something to play with in these rounds, and that's just not going to happen. There is no saving grace of the internet to help them out today. It's just P250s, just Deagles, a solitary flash on towards Boaster. Hugo, Barrage are well and truly back into this now on this first half. We should be looking at 7-7. We should be looking at that half win, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it's looking likely. And even if they didn't pull it out with a half win, as I said, they can still make it work on that CT side if they just have a strong CT half. The issue is they've got to worry about how CAZ is set up on this map, whether they're going to be more prepared or, whether it's just going to be a bit of a decimation if CAZ aren't prepared on this map.
For sure, Velox going to be trying to make it work a little bit, add a bit of cheek, as he's going to land a nade right on towards Windansky. So certainly going to be touching base with that one, as Boaster is the last man remaining. And what is he up to? He's just got a flash, just a P250, so I wouldn't exactly be screaming value at the top of my lungs, but maybe just kind of try and run the backlines, see if he can go to that almost most common save route for the T side, and from there tap a couple of heads and do some damage. That certainly would be a bit of an early Christmas present for him. Which Petto actually is going to make this one possible as he runs right on past, but the shots have been missed, and Boaster, ooh, Petto still going to fall.
Yep, they should be able to chase him down as long as he doesn't move too far away, but it seems like he's just faking his exit with the smoke there. That's quite clever. Doesn't even have to face in this position if he doesn't want to, and they're just going to walk right past him. This is perfect. He can wait until the last possible second to strike, and he will. 2 kills for him. That's clever from Boaster. I like the use of the smoke there. Can't quite find the AWP to save, it seems. The round's still going to go to Barrage, so that's the important thing at the end of the day. No, they don't keep the rifles, but there's 1 round left to this half, and they've got enough to buy up anything that they need, so good stuff. Even in chat, it's not open on the stream, but even Barrage are admitting that was well played.
Yeah, I actually really like that. I was going to jump on that straight away. I think that's a really cool thing for them to say, just straight off the bat and go, you know what, well played. You did wreck us with that. That was very smart from you. And I think that really is a level of appreciation just for the knowledge that's being brought to the table by Boaster there as an individual. So huge props to him for bringing those smarts to the table. The big thing is Byron. Now we have one choice, one team who are going to take this victory in this half. Who is it going to be? Velox is the first man to start the show. Gets himself a singular kill, looking now for a double as he tries to claim the life of JKM over towards Long. Shank's going to come in right from behind. Having those led right where it needs to go. It's Boaster. Perhaps next on the list to be caught off guard. And it is going to be the unfortunate case for him. Shank just another headshot. Neto going to be holding up towards balcony. If Connor even peeks this, he's going to have a bit of a death sentence almost. As he's kind of just trapped in that angle. Kind of going, okay, where can I peek? What can I actually do here? What kind of use can I bring to my team? And unfortunately, there's kind of all but nothing. And Shank is going to pin down these angles and get himself a quadra kill.
I would like to just address something as well. It's a bit unrelated to the game, but someone just put in chat, Archer LV said, do casters look into the names of the players or just call whatever they see in game or do any research? One thing, I think this is kind of a blinding obvious to anyone that watches a lot of UKCS, is the fact of the matter is there is nowhere to get any research from. I think you can agree with me on that front, Flakes. Because of the constant roster shuffles, because of the fact that none of these players are playing on a level where the matches are on HLTV so we can track stats or even map pools, it's very, very hard to do any research on a lot of the teams. Not every team, obviously. Some teams stay together, but on the majority of the teams where, you said we don't know anything about Mirage, where are we supposed to get our information? That's the thing I always question.
Actually, I think I know what's being kind of targeted there as well. It's more than likely going to be the fact that Petto, I believe, is Prezi. But the problem with UK nicknames, and this isn't really usually a topic we go into, but I feel like now we've kind of opened that can of worms, we might as well continue with it, is that in the UK, I can probably name about 5 times, off my hand, that players have changed their names in server deliberately just to try and screw with us on the cast. It's just a bit of, a fun for them. They're our friends as well. They want to have a bit of a laugh, but it does mean that when it comes down to actually doing a broadcast, you can't kind of look at things and go, okay, I'm going to trust that name, I'm going to trust that guy actually is Prezi, because
and as well, going just to butt in as well, going along, if anyone's ever had any casting experience, if someone has an in-game name that is different to their real name and you're saying it on the fly, you're reading it off. If you're reading it off the kill feed, you're not going to a lot of the time think, okay, what's his real name? Okay, I should say that, not what I'm reading off. So a lot of the time people read out what they see instead of just straight up reading out who it actually is. And obviously I think Flakes has a little more UK experience than I do. I've not casted enough UKCS to really know any of the players' real nicknames. Like I don't know Barrage, so
yeah, but I think that
doesn't help.
There is a big point to be made as well, is that when you're watching a team, you can't just cater, we don't want to broadcast stuff to the UK community just for the UK community who are in the UK Counter-Strike scene. Like, that's not going to help grow UKCS at all. If we just solely come into the UK as casters and as event organizers just to broadcast to people who already know about UKCS, then we aren't going to grow as a scene. There is going to be no grassroots community that continues to leapfrog forward. Instead, what we need to be doing is realizing that there's a bit of a back and forth that means that we actually have to be able to broadcast to both people who know nothing about UKCS, nothing about CS in general, whether they're from Europe or whether they haven't played the game at all. There is that vice versa there. But it's also about kind of growing the scene off the back of that. Not everyone's going to come into the scene and going to straight off the bat go, Peto equals Prezi when they look at a screen. So for us to refer to him as Peto, it's kind of better all in all, I think, for everyone. I think that we're looking at UK Gaming Tours, an event that's quite literally built around bringing UK teams into the spotlight, another kind of UK Masters in itself almost. And the fact we've got more of these leagues is great, but what's the point of these leagues if we don't actually bring them to people who don't know about UK Counter-Strike? We don't show UK Counter-Strike off to the world.
Yeah, it's a really interesting discussion, I think, when you get into, especially with the research with the UK teams, there isn't a lot of even data to work with. Not just moving away from the name thing as well. Obviously, you can research names, but I feel like that, as you said, is a bit pointless. But yeah, just definitely talking about at least the actual teams and rosters and statistics and map pools. It's very, very hard to get much research down as well with the lack of I guess. HLTV, that's where research comes from. Liquipedia and HLTV, that's where every caster gets their research from for EU work and stuff like that. But for UK stuff, there's no alternative, which would be really interesting to see if we can actually get it at some point. If there could be an HLTV-like site just dedicated to UKCS, or if UKCS Go could implement something like that. Never know.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's certainly some interesting comments being made back and forth, and perhaps this is a dialogue that us as tournament organizers and casters and as a community can have back and forth with the fans and the people that engage with these broadcasts. But kind of moving it along, I think, that's a conversation that can be had for another time. As Hugo, we still have some great CS to watch. I think it certainly has to be described now as great CS because Barrage, they're on the comeback. They have themselves a lead, but they've done something truly despicable. Something that's just not quite okay. They've bought Julies in a pistol.
I'm not going to blame it. I like it. It's spicy.
Oh, no.
And bring
Not
something new
well.
into the mix. It's all good. Let's do it. And Peto, he's going to be spamming away. Already pushed through that smoke there. Jacob is so low. He should be able to tag him down there. One more bullet, and he will land it as well. But he's going to have to pull out the ace to clutch this round. Not going to happen. CAZ, they had a bit of a shambles in the first half, but they finally pulled it back with that pistol round there as well. So good stuff from them. Now Barrage have got to be a little bit worried. They can't get too overconfident. That Chill Beretta buy, maybe signaling something about overconfidence. I don't know. But they can't afford to get too overconfident.
You're like Tom, aren't you? You're a big fan of all the shotguns and the curveball pistols. Not like this, Hugo. Don't let that overtake you. Bring it back to standard Counter-Strike, please, I beg. Just do it for the team.
I like
Reason with
new
the
meta
meta.
shifts. I love new meta shifts.
Bring in the curveballs, backwards and forwards, as they say. Wong is going to fall, though. It's going to be a bit of a money-making device for this T side. Reason, of course, will be looking for just another as they lead the charge. Velox, though, quick flick with a scout, certainly adds a bit of insult to injury. And most importantly, equalizing point as a nade to land at the feet, a flash to greet them. They still continue their venture. And a pretty risky one on towards the site. And the reason we say risky is just take a look at the crossfire being held by these pistols, but one that's quickly going to be dismantled by Connor as he picks up a double. Taking control of that site in full force as Neto and Velox are now left the last two standing. The last two pillars of hope that are quickly being flogged on down by the members of this terrorist force.
Have you ever thought about doing poetry, Ryan?
I'm not very good at it, so no, I guess.
The way you cast, you know, it gets really poetic at times.
I mean, if it sounds good, I'm okay with that.
I'm being honest.
Is
no,
that
it's
BM
fine.
or not?
No, it's not. It's not BM. It's just like you. No, it's definitely not BM. It's just an interesting way of doing it. I love it. I love it. I love listening to it.
I feel like
Instead
it's a nice
of just
little,
saying,
like,
"Oh,
twist on things, right?
he takes it down and he wins the round," it's like he floods his gates, forcing him to the ground with an unconfirmed stare of agreement. Or like, you know, I can't do it. I'm not that kind of person. But you know, you always do it after every round, and I love listening to it. It's interesting. Like, what's going on in the head of Ryan today? You know.
Having a great little time, just having a little bit of dance party.
Consider some poetry.
Hey, everyone's got to have that little bit of uniqueness to their casting, right? I think that's just comes hand in hand. Let your personality show. I'm not quite sure what that sums up my personality to be, but you know what? We're gonna let that drift on by as we giggle on forward to Boaster finding himself what should be a bit of a double kill here if he gets that repeat potential on towards Wong. As it is going to be a bit of an affair peeking towards window, but Wong, you leave your head left wide open. Is Boaster going to crack that one open now as Jacob is going to turn it back on towards another frag on towards Velox, leaving Neto to the dust.
Ooh. Dun, 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 dun. I like it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now Barrage going into their first buy of the half, their chance to shine, their chance to show off what they got. They had a great first half. You can't take that away from them at all, but it's whether they can converge it. That's going to be the most important factor here. We're going to be seeing the full rifle buy aside from the 1mag7 on Petto. AWP now found on CAZ. They got rid of the SMGs. And that's something that's, I mean, common to an extent. You sometimes see, you know, the Mac 10 after the double anti-eco being brought into the buy round, at least one of them. But it seems like CAZ just want to go full force, full confidence, and, you know, sparing no expense for this round. They've still got even, you know, quite a few thousand left in most of their banks as well. So it's not like they're really having an issue with economy for the time being. So you can justify dropping the mags, the MP, what am I saying, Mac 10, that's the one, and reinvesting to those AKs. So it's justified.
Certainly a well thought out decision, but one thing that may not necessarily be a bit of a similar storyline to that is going to be a bit of a mid peak from Shanked, as he is going to get dropped on dead by Jacob. He just slides sideways with the AWP, hammers it one home for the team. Then a Molotov next in line to be dropped on as well. That's just going to be almost bringing about a bit of flames, just fanning them almost for this T side. As Barrage are kind of left going, boys, what can we do in this scenario? But Velox is going to find one on towards Boaster, but the value in that pick actually doesn't add anything to this retake at all aside from manpower. Just going to look to force their way out through the cracks, which, well, could quickly be met with flashes. That's going to be a bit of a blinding affair. And we walk into the crosshairs of Connor. Slow and almost stutter-steppy. Almost like my casting in that round, but it is that same old moot point, really. They walk into the crosshairs, they get cut down, and CAZ eSports looking to be this lawnmower side.
Yeah, and they're definitely doing it so far as well. Anti-eco coming up as Barrage invests just a little bit, but again, it's just coming down to the fact that if they don't start to pick up rounds, especially the next buy round, it's going to be GG. Look at this realistically. CAZ are likely to go 12-8 at this point, and then Barrage have a buy. If Barrage don't win that buy, CAZ go 13-8, then they have another anti-eco, that's 14-8, and, you know, it's a scary scoreline to be at. So it's very important that not only do Barrage try and save some AKs into the next round to keep their economy on a high from this one, but also they pick up their buy round in the upcoming one. That's going to be so you know, valuable to them in terms of getting back into this game.
It almost archaeologists on a bit of a search for the long lost treasure, the AK-47. We're going to see if maybe if they can, you know, find their Russian Brotherhood, find the plans to build it, and then from there try and create a bit of firepower for them. Unfortunately, I think that's going to be a lot tougher than it may sound, a lot tougher than it may roll off the tongue. Some flashes are going to be what create them back on towards the site, and a close angle to be held by Wong as he tries to make the best of the situation, but unfortunately, making the best of what you got in front of you doesn't always mean you've got something good. Pendansky and Shanked are going to be the two to combine. Boaster just another on towards Velox, leaving Petto really to kind of just stand over towards window going, okay, well, I'm going to find one, but yeah, what value do I add in this situation? Damage, yes, but I'm always going to be traded out, always.
Yep, and here's the important round as well. Barrage will have an AWP in play. I'd like to see something interesting brought up, maybe a double up. They can afford it. Petto could grab one. We could see Neto get one as well, but they're just going to go for the safe option. Wong just going for that one. And yeah, they're going to have to do something interesting. They're going to have to get aggressive. I'd like to see that. Wong's going to go for that mid peak, so if he can find himself a pick, that could be perfect, and he will. Connor goes down. Great start now for Barrage. And they've just got to play the trade game. Take that buddy system. Take those you know, trades every single time you lose a teammate, and you should just have this round in the bag, although easier said than done, definitely. Is Reason, he's starting a bit of a push up towards A long. Wong's going to have to hit his second shot of the round. And he does. Good stuff so far.
Yeah, a man in action, a man just enjoying his lovely little game of bowling. As he knocks them down, gets himself the spare on towards Connor and Reason. Now back for his second time around the rodeo. Can he get himself a strike? We'll be looking for that opening shot. Poster, unfortunately, is going to be able to punish on towards Neto. It'll be interesting to see if Peto is going to be able to find himself that quick trade. Tree also being a very controversial position in this scenario, because Velox, he kind of has too many angles to hold. He has to look towards flat and look towards drop, but he seems to be able to handle it nice and comfortably. There's just not enough pressure being applied for the CAZ side in this round, leaving Wong now to bear back down towards mid, but if he peeks out open towards long, he's going to probably find that flick on towards Jaco, and there you have it, a strike for him. He's now looking for Windansky.
Nice 4K from Wong. Cleans up the round single-handedly pretty much. And again, it gets back down to the issue that you got to talk about is if a team can actually only win rounds when one player steps up, that team is going to have a lot of issues when, you know, none of their players go huge. Yes, we had a round one. That's obviously great stuff for Barrage, but it was off the back of a 4K. It wasn't, you know, a fair, equal site tick that they all did well and they all contributed. It was just one going pretty big and lining up the shot. So you've got to hope that Barrage still has it in them for all of them to, you know, reactively do well and not just Wong going pretty massive on his own or any other players for that matter.
For sure. I think kind of one thing that really comes to mind for me when it comes down to Barrage is that, you know, also practice. I think that is something that really can repair that over time. Is you just get those practice and get that scrim in, because qualifying for a league when you are relying on these players is always going to be an incredibly tough task, and it kind of makes me want to look back at their route to getting to the UKGT, but also look forward to, you know, the route through IAM, Katowice, and the qualifiers like that UK teams are competing in nowadays. And it's always going to be so difficult and stuff like that when you are relying on kind of an AWPer to get himself a 3K or a rifle to step up and get a double kill. So there needs to be some sort of teamwork-based foundation that Barrage can work with and go, okay, if all 5 of us aren't hitting our shots, if we are kind of playing at our standard normal level of CS, we're not playing terribly, we're not playing amazing, but we're playing box standard, then this is what we do. This is what will at least try and net us basic rounds. Of course, CS is all about which players are playing better on the server as well, but there is that level of tactical forethought that will help them elevate that skill, overall, especially with the economic advantages you gain by just picking up a couple of rounds.
But look at the time though, 30 seconds now, and they're only just going to make their way up towards A. Velox is going to go pretty big himself, just a quick couple of kills. Reason trades things up, but they need to deny this bomb plant, so Shanked pushing in early there is going to be justified. He's just trying to stop them from committing to a plant, but the CTs don't have any Molotovs for the bomb. It's finally going to try to make its way, but they're going to deny it. Great shot from Wong and Neto to actually drop the bomb in the open, and there's just no time left for Boaster. He's going to try and go big individually, but they just won't walk into this one. It will be the round going to Barrage, and that was actually great stuff there. CAZ leaving it too little too late and getting caught out. Not a good round at all from them. And Barrage just played it pitch perfect, didn't need to overextend, just held on. Shank tried to deny the bomb plant, he got a bit unlucky, but Wong and Velox cleaned it up.
It's a bit of an odd circumstance though, right, Hugh, because the whole fate of this match now is in Barrage's hands. I think it has to be said. They either have one choice to make. Do they step up here and start to really make these rounds work, play sensibly, not allow early picks to be claimed, and as we talk about that Wong getting dropped down to 5 HP through the door? Or are they just going to crumble and allow CAZ to just squeeze out the round here and there? Because even if CAZ makes some mistakes, it's still 12-10. Just a couple of rounds strung together can break the economy of Barrage still, and they can still take that win, which is the most important thing about this match in itself, right? So Barrage, now's your time. Don't give away the early advantages. Hold yourself together. Play with the advantage that you are able to claim. They just took a pick off towards JChem. Use that on your CT side. Don't let CAZ just walk on in, strut their stuff, do a little bit of a dance, and from there just get onto the site. No, play a comfortable CT side. Play something you've rehearsed, because it's not like you've never played Cobblestone before.
Yeah, definitely. And CAZ this time, with a little more time left on the clock, going to be running into B. They have obviously one flank player. That's Reason. He's doing damage onto Velox, and he's actually going to put it back into a 3-on-3, which is very important. So CAZ now can chill. They don't need to rush. Reason clearing out the majority of the site means that he can actually call for a rotation. The bomb going to be making its way back. So now they're going to start to try and hit the A site. And with 3 players ready for this one, Could be quite a good round for CAZ here. Time is ticking away, and Wong's actually going to deny the first, but he's such low HP. Reason will be able to execute him, and turns around, attempted trade from Shanked, but he's just getting so unlucky. He's playing everything right, but the timing's just getting the better of him. It's all onto Neto, and he's going to fall as well. Reason, quick headshot there, and a great round from him. But I gotta point out, because a lot of people I bet will bash on Shanked for the previous couple of rounds. He's been doing everything right. I gotta admit, he's been doing everything right. But timing has been getting the better of him, and he has been out-aimed every single time. So unlucky for him to get completely turned on in the previous round when all he was trying to do is trade out the kill onto Wong. But either way, CAZ, they're gonna make it work, and they're gonna pick up their 13th round.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right on that point. Like, I feel like that's just almost a bit of the same thing for Wong at a couple of scenarios as well. Like, he's got the footwork right, but doing the actual tango seems to be a bit of a more of a tough task for him to accomplish. Just when it actually comes down to getting the job done, the shots don't quite fall into place, and a lot of the time it's just almost stray headshots landing plentifully into the laps of CAZ. They have got these 5 rifles. They're up against pistols in this one. We talked about those shots landing in the laps. Well, it looks like it's going to be a bit of similar circumstances for this T side. Reason is going to find that frag on towards Pedo. Neto is going to respond. But how close are they willing to go? Are they going to dive in towards drop? Right into the palms of Reason. He's there to hold the angle. Snaps on towards one. Playing by a second though, and this is good damage by the CTs.
Yeah, definitely so. Gun going to be thrown up to Neto though. That's just for the save. Pulling it back with Wong as well, but I don't think they're going to be able to pull off the boaster here, not the insane save. They're going to be challenging this one a bit much, and I feel like that's a bit pointless. It's like, what are you trying to achieve? CAZ are still going to be able to buy regardless, and it's just like, why impact the economy when you can save 2 AKs into the next round that could completely turn things upside down? Look at their money, it's already fairly limited. They've got 3 players on just under 4k. That's not enough to go for a full buy, so saving 2 AKs could have been great. It's a real shame that Barrage had to peek in that position, but either way, the round is going to be going here to CAZ as per usual. 14-10, and Ryan, are we calling it? Is it all over?
I feel like Barrage had an opportunity to claim themselves a win, but off the back of just a couple of small, very tiny mistakes, and CAZ eSports just bringing that little bit extra of finesse is enough to hammer it home. CAZ eSports, they're more likely to be taking this one. I'd say 16-11. I still think the Barrage will be able to bring the fight here and there, but I don't imagine it to be much of a fight, much longer at least.
No.
It's a shame, though. I think it has to be said.
Yeah, after this round as well, I definitely agree. It's all going to fall apart for Barrage. They should just 100% save. The thing is, I don't like it when teams are so uncertain what they're doing. They're like sitting connected, like, oh, do we save? Do we fight? What are you doing? Just save.
It shows they have no clear, decisive voice.
No,
they need someone to step up right now and take control of the situation. I say this to a lot of teams, when we're looking at the grassroots UKCS community, and they're just starting out. They've just put 5 players together, and the biggest thing I always say to them when people say, oh, how do we build a stable team? How do we break the meme of the UK Counter-Strike? Well, for a start, one way to get good and also kind of break that stale meme of regurgitating players is just give yourself a voice, someone who's going to stand up and say, okay, this is what we're doing in this circumstance. Okay, you're going here, you're going here. Okay, we're falling, we're saving. You're just having someone step up with a voice that's louder than everyone else and say, okay, we're going to be doing this. Get yourself a good caller.
Yeah, it's so important because in that position you got to look at it. I hope they watch back the demo because that would be quite interesting. But you got to look back and go, okay, right, we have 3 players remaining. It's 14-10. And they've got a 5-on-3. They've got the bomb site. They've got plenty of money as well because they're winning rounds, and they're gonna be able to buy regardless of what happens, even if they lose all 5 players. And you're sitting there going, oh, should we get exit frags? No, you shouldn't. You should save the guns. You need those guns for the next round. Your economy is going to be limited. Look at their nades in this round. It's so weak, and that's even with saving the guns. It's just something you need to be aware of. It's something you need to work on, and I really do hope, aside from all the memes, aside from all the BM, I do hope they watch us back and go, okay, that's something we need to work on. That would be interesting. So either way, an attempt to try and bring this one back into fruition. It's going to be a 3-on-3. CAZ have hit the site. Barrage are all playing for retake here pretty much.
They're playing for everything. This is them trying to just hold on to that league table spot for pretty much for them, their team, their organization. The boys back at home are cheering that name of Barrage, but are they going to be able to accomplish it? As Velox is going to rotate in, playing around Fountain, should we say. Frank is going to be there as well, so they have themselves the setup, they have themselves the angles, and they're landing the shots. Jacob is the last man remaining. He's now in a 1 versus 3. He finds himself the second, looking for the third, but Peto is going to steal that one out. Barrage, they get themselves their 11th round on the board, but as I mentioned, Hugo said 16-11. My prediction really going to unfold.
I don't know. don't know. Yeah, no. Let's go with a very likely yes. It's the third round that Barrage have picked up this half. The CT side's been weak as it is, and as they've still got enough money to buy. So yeah, I feel like maybe they will be 16-11. And either way, they've got to look back at this and go, okay, at least we did well. You know, after a 16-3, they've pulled it back out, and they've actually done considerably well this map. I'm saying it like I'm counting them out. I don't want it to seem like that. They still have a chance, but it's going to be a small chance nonetheless.
Oh, Finley Vale chance though still exists. They say the 1% are still that 1% of people. Jacob and Reason are going to almost be this bit of a dynamic duo to build up over towards A-Long as they try and pry open the can of worm that leads towards Velox. Is going to be in a bit of a delayed fashion though, as Velox isn't going aggressive at all. I think that really kind of sets the pace for the rest of the team as well. They all just aren't doing anything too crazy. They're kind of playing standard CT side. They're just going, okay, if we're going to win this, if we're going to bring this one back to overtime, then we need to just do what we can do best, which right now seems to be holding these angles, wait for them to bring the fight to us, which may not necessarily be the best play. It might not be the best adaptation to what CAZ are doing, but just the best situation where Barrage are hitting their shots at least and making the most competitive rounds out of these circumstances. Wong is going to be bearing down still over towards Long with us up. Connor doesn't want to peek dry into this. Will need almost certainly going to be a flash or something. Jacob, of course, is going to find himself a bit of an idea to get that trade. Oh, there you have it. Hammers at home.
There we go. Entry coming in for CAZ. There will be a quick refrag from Neto, but that's going to be relieved from Windansky. It's kills back and forth here. It's into a 2v2 now, and Barrage, they are going to at least bring things back. Shank, nice stuff from him. Nade's going to go in deep. Molotov forcing him back into the open, and Windansky just spraying down two. They're not going to get anything out of that one. And CAZ, they are again going to pick up this second map, 16-11. Flakes made the right call both times. So great stuff from CAZ. A nice attempt from Barrage, at least in the second map, after a bit of a struggle in Mirage. But that will be that series concluded. The best of two taken from CAZ. Any final words, Ryan?
Well, I think there's only one thing that comes to mind. Right at the start of the series, we talked about how Barrage needed speed and how we wanted them to just kind of pry into the Western digital market. The minute we talked about that, they started to perform well. So perhaps Western digital is the key to all success. There you have it, folks. Selling out.
Check out the giveaway over on UKG Tours tomorrow. 250GB SSD. Until then, though, we're going to be going for a short break. That'll probably be about 20 minutes before the next matchup. And Ryan, which teams are those again? You want to let us know?
I can let you know on that one. I had it open. Ufrag and Rasta, there you go. Production, doing the job. Cheers, Misty. See you giving it in Twitch chat, my friend. Having a great time, I see.
Great.
Wonderful. Well, we are going to go to a break anyhow, to cut the memes aside. We're going to let things loose, throw you to a break screen, enjoy the music. I'm back with you in just 20 minutes or so.